40%, right? We're much below that, right?
Yeah.
So if our efficiency is that low, if the numbers were to come up, already the space allocation might be undersized, right? But for CTE, for instance, people who come in at basic skills that would graduate to a four-year college, right? There was only 5% that would use that facility, right? But for CTE growth, it might be huge if we can take care of the basic skills, right? And considering the population in California, right, and the university, blah, 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 I would like to see some other things from a professional point of
We
view.
would love to.
Right.
But again, I think as everyone's mentioned, we've been working in a very tight constraint box, schedule, accreditation, state funding constraints. And boy, we would like nothing better because we, frankly, I think as Frank has mentioned, you've all certainly mentioned, we haven't had the chance to get enough interaction with you, the whole WLC team. And you know, that was subject to the constraints we had to work within. So, you know, that's a decision that's, you know, up to the district and the colleges. If we can continue working with you, certainly we would love to be considering those ideas, but we do have to start somewhere and actually address these initial perspectives, because that's the first thing the college and the district have to answer
Have
to.
those specifically written. I would like to see what the constraints are, because then I can understand what I'm planning.
It's a lot of what we've been talking about, and it will all be covered in the reports that we issue. But it is a lot of the kinds of things that we've been talking about, and then, you know, there's another layer that I don't even know about that you're having to go through for your accreditation process that also feeds into it and constrains this process somewhat. But yeah, I mean,
I'd also just like to add, though, we didn't dictate the growth of individual programs in our report.
No.
We didn't. And we didn't do it purposely, because I don't think any of us really knows by the year 2022 what your program of instruction is going to look like. There's going to be programs we haven't even heard of yet, you know, and the computer is going to become obsolete and we're going to have something new. I'm joking, but the fact is the facilities, the quantity of facilities that are being outlined here, and by the way, these buildings aren't designed, they're footprints. They're just footprints. So as you program these buildings, you will have discussions and you will decide, okay, what program is going to go there, what do the rooms have to look like? So there's a lot of flexibility in this plan. Now, as far as, you know, bringing things across the street and stuff, those are great ideas, and those are things you can also look at.
Dale?
I was just looking over the Moss report over the weekend. One of the ones that was showing this statistical numbers for all the four colleges. And
the cap load ratios.
It seemed like Alameda College is way over on their laboratory space also. So
all four, 3 out of 4 colleges.
I don't see how any labs could really move over there right now.
What needs, in our opinion, what needs to happen at this whole district is you need better space. You need better space. You have, you know, you have labs that are inadequate, that are improperly sized, and there's a scheduling component as well. To use those facilities more hours of the week. This is our
Peter.
Our view on that.
Yeah, Kim?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure, is this with the understanding of like the BART underground stuff, this is compliant with that? Because I know we ran into a bunch of problems with that with our field house, because we're down here and then this is going through this.
They're looking at geological surveys, working with structural engineers to look at the different implications of any new buildings that go on because of the muddy type of topography we're on.
Because you talked about that being just a footprint. Is that like a 2-story building?
Still to be determined.
Still to be determined, but the amount of space that's required if you're going to hold a footprint like this, it's at least 2 stories. You know, so, you know, certainly some real basic assumptions like that, we had to make sure it could work there. But we really didn't go much further than that, because as Dan's mentioned, we're looking at the aggregate so that you have this flexibility of which programs actually end up growing in the end. And I appreciated the green technology. I know you're trying to do a house, and we did look at the conflict between vehicular and pedestrian traffic, and I think we had some ideas how to maintain that even if cosmetology is there. But what we hadn't yet really resolved is where would you put that house? So, you know, there are things that are impacted, and that, you know, we still would have to have some open suggestions to propose to you.
I just want to comment that what Rich is saying in terms of constraints, I've tried to articulate what some of the constraints are in this kind of truncated process, but I think that doesn't limit us. And I would encourage the faculty, and I will be meeting with your academic senate president and with your vice president of instruction to talk about ways to engage the faculty in the next steps, because that's really what's important. We basically have just sunshined this as a first step, not a last step, okay? So I will be talking, and I encourage all of you who have ideas about how to go forward with this to come forward, because like I said earlier, we can get through this and we will get through it in a way that I think everybody will feel good about.
And I was just wondering, there people have been commenting about cosmetology, but does anyone know like how the group of people in cosmetology feels about it?
I've spoken to the cosmetology department, and I've talked to Peter Crabtree regularly about this, is the amount of space that they have is totally inadequate and it's antiquated. And from a standpoint of needing better space, they need better space. And it would make more sense because one of the strategic plans is to be more entrepreneurial, just like we want the restaurant that's going to be open to the public to help subsidize some of the operations. Cosmetology, again, hair, nails, massage, all that is very hot, not so much to make money, but to allow our students to have that experiential ability to reach out to the community. So the notion of having storefronts, which we have, and making the best use of them, we would rather site them in a place where, not where they're currently at, which is in an alleyway. So yeah, they're very excited about that possibility, as well as the students, of course. Like when I go into the culinary department now, I see smiling faces, happy faces, and students who feel like they're in a first-class facility for the first time. And that's what I'd like to see for all of our departments, quite honestly. And that's what I've been trying to push for and push the district hard on making sure you get the equipment you need, the supplies you need, and the buildings you need to get your job done. I know how challenging your work is. So I really try to listen to theater, to science, to CTE. I don't believe in picking one group versus the other. That's for us to really try to figure out, and that's why I'm going to work with your academic senate. I'm going to work with Eleanor. I'm going to work with Donald more from the student services end, and we're going to try to put this plan together so it works for everybody. And again, we don't operate in a vacuum either. It's just not Laney. Whatever we do, as Debbie mentioned, has to be worked out and vetted with the other 3 campuses and the districts. Okay. Yes, Shirley?
I just wanted to state for the record that I have a concern about narrowing 7th Street down to a lane, one lane going one way and a lane going another way. When we're talking about 15,000 to 16,000 people trying to get to a parking lot, that's going to add a major congestion to the area. It's already a problem. The 2 lanes.
Yeah. I think all of these comments are, that's why we put this out there. Because there's certain people that want to even close off that. We've talked about closing off 7th Street, and unifying, wait, let me finish. Unifying the parking lot, the district office, and having a safe area, because it is a pedestrian safety issue as you see people running across the street. So we're trying to figure out different strategies. Maybe the single lane isn't the right approach, but we're trying to at least put certain ideas out there for reaction. So I hear what you're saying.
Right, but that's the district's idea of closing off the street, because every meeting that I've attended where the city of Oakland is present, they keep saying they're closing down that street. It's a major artery.
But there could be changes, Shirley, because if the 9th and Oak ever comes up again, which I think it will when the economy turns, there's going to be a whole major transformation of this area. So as you see 7th Street today, it will look very different, and part of the negotiations between the district and our district with the city may change. It may not, but I'm just putting that out there. Did somebody have their hand up in the back? Okay. Well, I want to thank everybody again for coming. As I said, this is a first step. We're going to get through this. I'm going to work with the academic senate president as well as Dr. Webb and others. If you have other ideas to bring forward, please bring them forward. I didn't realize it took this type of strategy to engage the faculty to get a full room, but it's too painful. I'm not going to do it again. Okay, thank you very much.